Okay, here we are in MetalTalk. It's a nice sunny day at long last in London.
It is.
And bringing the sunshine with her is Joanne Taylor.
Thank you very much. No one's ever said that about me before. I'll take that compliment.
And 30th September sees the release of your 5th album.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah.
It's going to be out on
my own label, Axe House Music.
Axe House Music. And how pleased are you with the album?
I'm thrilled with it. I say that about every album because, they're all very important to me. And I try and do the best job I can for the fans and make something I'm proud of and hopefully they like. But new experience on this one, new producer, new surroundings, a lot of co-writing, which I've never done before. So it was sort of a bit nerve-wracking for me, kind of outside the comfort zone. But I couldn't be happy with how it's turned out. I was certainly pushed in some new directions.
But you could be saying, it is your 5th album, well, 4th studio album, but this is the big one in some ways.
I kind of feel like that. It's been, I am a niche artist, so there's no sort of overnight, it's like 20-year overnight success at this point, So it's been kind of a slow build, but it does kind of feel like it's tipping, things are going really well. And again, I think that's kind of coupled with the fact that it's a slightly different album. I think I pushed myself a lot more, which is probably through working with Kevin Shirley on this, different producer. So yeah, it's very exciting, nerve-wracking.
Well, so you mentioned you worked with Kevin Shirley. He's like the man in demand at the moment. All the latest, all the best sort of rock albums, straight blues, heavy rock albums are coming from Kevin.
Yeah.
So what did he bring to you as an artist?
I think for me personally, one reason I've always worked with Jim Gaines by and large. I wouldn't say I'm a control freak, but having a producer is a big thing. It's pretty much 50-50. I mean, I can take them a bunch of songs, but the ones they pick out of them, they could pick several different albums, depending on how they work those songs. The ones they pick, who they get to play them, how we record them. So you're handing over a huge trust. So for me, working with Kevin, I'd known him personally for a long time through Joe Bonamassa, and I knew I could trust him. So I kind of just relinquished all control to him, really. He brought a lot of songs to the table that I ordinarily wouldn't have thought of doing. There's 2 covers on there. Wild is the Wind, which we did the Bowie version of, which I would never in a million years have picked for myself. Summertime, which actually I wouldn't have picked.
It's a very good version, actually. It's different to the Bowie version.
Yeah, it's more, because I know 3 versions of that song. I know the Cat Power version, Nina Simone, and then Bowie's. So we kind of based it slightly more, but obviously there's a lot of guitar playing. Seems to follow me around, that guitar playing. But no, I'm just thrilled with it. And he made the Joanne Taylor album that I guess you saw in me, which is what you hope for with a producer.
And how easy is it for you as an artist, or how hard is it for you as an artist to go to the producer, here's my songs, and he says, no, you're not going to do it like that, you're going to do it like this. So how green were you to that?
I'm no stranger to it, which is why I probably choose to work, or have chosen to work with people that I know I could have a lot of input with. I go, no, that's not how we're doing it, it's my song. Whereas with Kevin, this was the first sort of time I went, do your worst. This is on you now, this is your problem. So again, there had to be a lot of trust there. But he did a fabulous job. He did what I believed he would do. He made everything way better. He took the averageness that I took him and made it almost passable.
And are the songs sort of finished before you go to the studio? Would you go to the studio with just a few rough ideas and see how the magic works from there?
With this one, they were pretty much complete. In the bed was there, so I went and co-wrote, which is the first time I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done it all myself previously, which was a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, but once I got into it and got over the nerves, really positive. I've always said I'm not Bob Dylan. I'm not going to come out with 200 brilliant songs a year. I'm an average songwriter, and it was nice to have that input driving you. But yeah, Kevin certainly, was no stranger to going, no, drop that part. What is that? What is that you're singing? No, drop that. Kind of thing.
But lyrically, there's a lot of songs about being broken-hearted on there. Are you unlucky in love?
I wouldn't say unlucky. I think I've lived. Obviously doing what I do makes it difficult to maintain a relationship. It's hard to maintain a relationship anyway, let alone when you're going, okay, see you in 3 months. By the way, don't phone me because I'm on a weird time zone. So there's been a few experiences. There was one big relationship a couple of years ago I ended, and then with this album, it was kind of tying up loose ends with that, and then I'd also met a new partner going into it. So it was kind of, I suppose, closing one door and opening another. And I like to write about what I know. I think it makes a better song.
Yeah, how important is it to put your own personal experiences into a song rather than put your mind into the mind of somebody else?
Yeah, for me a lot. I mean, particularly as, it's not just an album. I mean, the album's just like a snapshot of where I am at that time, but I've got to go out and gig these songs for potentially 20 years. So, there's nothing worse than looking at a set list going, oh God, we've got to play that one. So every song's different, and, for instance, on the set list, now we've got Tried, Tested and True, and, I get in the mind frame if I know what that's about and what I'm singing about, and I think it makes me sing better if you feel it,
And I'll say, luckily, I've been listening to the album this morning. It's a great album. It's got a lovely flow all the way through it. But it touches loads of different styles on there. There's a little bit of hard rock and housey, traditional blues. There's even a nice little jazzy number on there. My Heart's Got a...
Heart's Got a Man of Its Own.
Yes, I love that song.
Yeah, we got to write with Leon Russell, which was amazing. I think that's the biggest challenge for any producer with me is that, obviously I come from the blues school, but I'm not necessarily a blues artist. As a music fan, I've got a very wide range of tastes, and obviously that seeps into you as a musician. To tie that all together, and I think Kevin hit the nail on the head with that, is that it was a collection of songs, really, and it was about bringing those songs together to make a cohesive album, and, again, I suppose that comes down to the songwriting aspect, and that I sing about things I know, so that is one thing, is that they're all Joanne Taylor songs. But yeah, it is quite, there's a bit of a mixed bag, which I like, I do like to mix it up.
And you recorded the album in Nashville, so how great is that for you to be in Nashville,
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever been to Nashville. I think I've actually been once for a gig, but it was like in and out. Great, I was there for 3 weeks, which was the one place in America I think my mum ever visited, who's not with us anymore, so that was kind of fun to go and see what she did on the girls' trip, went to all the saloons that she got drunk and did karaoke in. And also it's just a music town, you can't swing a cat in that town for hitting well-known session musician or famous artist, so it's only got a vibe to it, which was really cool to kind of soak up a little bit.
And you mentioned earlier, there's 2 cover versions on the album being Gershwin's Summertime, which has been covered by thousands of artists, so what is it
I've heard it before.
what is it you love so much about that song?
That again was one that Kevin brought to the table and kind of showed me the Janis version. Obviously I knew the song. Oddly enough for me, I'm a huge Ella Fitzgerald fan, and I usually listen to Ella before. It's either Dean Martin Live at Sands or Ella I listen to before I go to sleep. So I know that version. So it was quite hard for me to wrap my head around doing kind of more the blues version of it. And I was very sceptical that I was going to be capable as a singer, and it certainly pushed me. But I love it. The melody's great on that. It's a classic song. It's a great melody. It's a great story. It's a beautiful song. So it's a great way to win the album, I think. To go on that A major chord. You never hear it coming.
And you're often the Black County in the Midlands of England, and you spend a lot more time now in Detroit in America. What is it you love so much about Detroit? That's a silly question.
Yeah, no, trust me, everyone wonders why I moved to Detroit. It's a great town, assuming you might not have been. It's in its hard times, but like a lot of places that have seen hard times, I think it causes this sort of atmosphere with the people there that, when you've been through that much crap, you've got to have a good personality and rise above, and it's, it is Motown, obviously it's got that history of music, Motown, rock side.
Is that music feeling still there in Detroit?
Oh yeah, it's. I think that's probably had more impact on me than anything moving to Detroit. There's so many musicians that have moved up because they're so cheap from Austin and Nashville, and people can't afford New York prices anymore. It was the first time I'd heard country music moving to Detroit. Waylon Jennings, and such a melting pot of styles basically and genres. Obviously you've got the rock thing, you've got the Motown thing, but there's big blues right there.
Obviously, country's massive in the States. So that's been there's a new American that kind of scene.
And having lived in Texas for a while, new country, I'm more of a Johnny Cash way Jennings kind of girl than anything. But so no, it's a great town. I love it.
Excellent. You were born in 1986, still a young girl. So what was your first introduction to music? What was the first record you ever purchased?
The first record I ever purchased the first album was Stevie Ray Vaughan's Greatest Hits. The first single was Prince, Beautiful Girl. I'm a huge Prince fan.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, my introduction to music was my dad was a guitar player,
Yeah.
not professionally, and my older brother played guitar. So there was just a lot of music in the house. My dad's kind of grown up with black country, classic rock, blues,
Yeah.
and my brother was a big metal fan. So just a lot of guitar-based stuff, really.
So did you ever raid your dad's collection or your brother's collection?
I did. My dad's collection is how I got into blues. I just got to Steve Ray Vaughan and went die hard down that path. But as I was previously saying to you off camera, that when I decided to play electric guitar, there was a few months there that I went through my brother's record collection, and Sabbath was the big one for me, which led me to Zach Wild, Pride and Glory album. A lot of Metallica, a lot of Maiden. Just kind of a lot of metal, I suppose, early on, which I'm still kind of...
Well, so you do go to the odd metal gig. I noticed on Facebook the other week you mentioned you saw AC/DC twice.
I did. I took my brother once as well, because that was the first concert I ever went to. My brother phoned at my school and said there was something wrong with my dad. And I ran out of school, and my brother informed me that Dad was fine. We were getting in the car, we went to see AC/DC. I was like, alright, great. So I took my brother and we got like the backstage thing going on, so I'm pretty much the coolest little sister in the world right now.
Cool.
But yeah, I had to go twice. Axel just nailed it.
Totally.
For anyone out there that was thinking he wasn't going to do it, he nailed it. So.
Brilliant. And you're touring with Joe Bonamassa at the moment.
Yep.
How's that going for you?
Good. We were only one show in. We got the big London one tomorrow. Joe's been my best friend for pretty much near a decade now and a huge supporter, so any chance to get to work with him on a personal level is fabulous. Secondly, just what he's doing is great, this British Blues Explosion thing.
Yeah, because at the moment he's doing cover versions of songs from Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
And this is sort of a hypothetical question. If a promoter said to you, I want a similar sort of concert from Joanne and Shaw Taylor, which three artists would you pick?
Metallica, Sabbath, Ramshay. I love a bit of pyrotechnics. I'd probably go the opposite way. I think that's me and Joe always had that thing of like he was attracted to the British blues thing, and the thing that got me into playing guitar heavily was the Texas blues thing. You know, ZZ Top, Steve Ray Vaughan, you know, Freddie King, Albert Collins. So I'd probably go down that route. I mean, the only issue with that is not to say that I play it brilliantly. I wouldn't say that, but the issue I'll always run into, I'm a white girl with the white girl voice, so I don't know if I can pull off singing some of that stuff, but I think I'd give it a whirl. Maybe I'll do black country, a bit of Slade and go down that route.
Well, so you just mentioned like your white British girl. There's not many white girls who do the blues, especially play the guitar as well.
No.
I can only think of like you and...
I wouldn't take no for an answer.
You and Chantel McGregor.
Yeah, Chantel's pretty much... I mean, we started at the same time, pretty much we're the same age, so I've always known of Chantel, and you know, obviously I've gotten to know her more in recent years, but still, over the past 15 years we've been doing this, there's not really too many other females that have come forward in England still, so it's...
Well, what do you think that is? Why are the girls afraid of the blues as such?
I think it still comes down to... I've always personally thought it's that the guitar is still a male-dominated instrument. You know, in the mainstream, there's not many guitar players in the mainstream. I mean, if you look at guitar-based music in the mainstream, Foo Fighters, there's no guitar solos, you know, there's Queens of the Stone Age, and those are the only kind of guitar-based bands getting on the radio. So I think a lot of it is the kids that are picking up the guitar are generally male, and I think we need that one female to break through, like the female Hendrix, and kind of keep the door open and get girls into it. You know, maybe Orianthi can do that for us, or, you know, not too in touch with the scene. Lizzie Hale's out there, you know, but hopefully one of them's going to blow some doors open.
It will come. And your career's, you know, because you've done, I think it's the 5th album in like 7 years since the debut came out. So it's been quite a short career so far. So what's been a highlight for you so far?
Just getting to do it, you know. I mean, I've been gigging professionally since I was 15. I left school early and went into it. You know, right up until, I think after we'd recorded White Sugar, I was working in a bar. You know, just 60 hours a week thinking, I don't want to do this. You know, I love working here, the people are wonderful, but, you know, I just want to play guitar. So the fact that, you know, I get to go to Nashville and record with Kevin Shirley is sort of, you know... Is that
a pinch yourself moment when that happens?
Yeah, and I think you have to remind yourself of that. It's, you know, so, you know, you don't ever want to be ungrateful about it, because it is an amazing career to have, you know, the thing you get to do, it's ridiculous really. And so we played Glastonbury the other night, and we'd been up. We'd had literally 2 hours sleep in 3 days. We'd had a 3 a.m. flight out to Switzerland, raced to Glastonbury. It's a mud pit. I'd already been to Download. I was done with mud. We played, and then we had to wait till 10 to do the TV thing. And I was sitting there, and I remember looking at the lads, and we were waiting for Coldplay to finish. And I just remember looking at them, going, "Just think, 5 minutes time, we can all go to bed." And I thought, how grateful! I'm standing in like Glastonbury in the BBC thing that you always see on the TV, and I'm just dying to go to bed. So I think you got to kind of, check yourself on.
I think what put a smile on my face, actually, because I've been following your career from the early days. I've seen you at the Borderlines and the Eastern Academies, and Wilco Johnson at the Forum recently, and you were supporting. And what totally made my jaw drop, that I walked in to see you, and the place was already packed out. It was like you were the headliner, and I thought, well, what's happening here?
No, that was a good tour. I mean, again, I never thought I'd get to tour with Wilco Johnson and play those kind of shows. He's a legend. I remember talking about Dad's record collection, going through his DVD collection, the old Ray Whistle test. Yeah. And Wilco was on there. I was like, "Dad, who's a weird guy playing guitar?" Walking, as he did. And yeah, the crowd response on that tour was brilliant.
Excellent, yeah. And you have got a tour coming up in support of the album. You started in October, a mammoth tour. We just added some more dates in January.
Yeah.
And you've got a young blues guitarist supporting you, Aaron Keelock. A young guy. Tell us more about Aaron.
Aaron's coming on board for pretty much all the October dates, I think, apart from the first 2, because I think he's out with Wilco's pinched him off me. I don't know Aaron that well. He's a name that keeps popping up. I met him once at Rambling Man. And I remember thinking, he's a baby. He's like 17, 18. Yeah. So I remember doing that. But his name keeps coming up, and he's getting out there. Credit to him. And I think he's going to do really great things. He's the kid to watch right now.
And a lot of blues guitarists, over the years, eventually a duet comes along. Who do you like to duet with?
Duets is always a weird one for me.
Okay, collaboration then.
I didn't mean the word. Though to sound rather romantic.
Because dreams do come true, you put these ideas.
Well, I always say Prince. That's what I figured that there was only so many female guitar players he could go to before he got my name and going straight to the bottom of the barrel, but obviously that's not going to happen now. I mean, duets are weird for me in that sometimes the weirdest, like I would love to say Joe, as a friend, Bonamassa, that would be fun. But then sometimes it's weird how people get together and don't work. So I wouldn't mind doing something different as well. Maybe there's like a country artist out there I could do something with that I maybe couldn't get away with under the umbrella of Joe and Sean Taylor.
Well, what are your future ambitions, and especially recording-wise? Would you like to do something a little bit different outside the blues circuit one day?
Yeah, I think about that a lot actually, different projects, just because at the end of the day, obviously this has become a career for me, which I'm very thankful for, but I just love music and I'm a musician at the end of the day, so I would like to work with other artists. I could see myself working with younger artists in the future. It's still a tough industry and it's a very weird industry. So I think I'd like to it would be rewarding to guide people. And then a lot of random things. I'd like a rockabilly band. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I want to wear a bright red lipstick and bleach my hair and have an upright bass player and, do all that stuff. And maybe I wouldn't mind doing something more modern as well. Just, maybe things that I don't feel I can get away with under Joanne Shaw Taylor, I suppose. Maybe I'll do a metal band.
You can get away with anything. If Kiss can do what I was made to live in you, then anyone can do it. Joanne Shaw Taylor, it's been lovely talking to you. The album Wild is out on the 30th of September on Axe House Records.
Yep, bravo.
And you're touring in October. And I will see you at Shepherd's Empire in January, actually. So I have to wait till then.
I'll be there.
All the best for the future. Looking forward to the album. All the best. Cheers.